In Walmart, we call this as EDLC to EDLP, which is everyday low cost to everyday low price, which has taught me how do you build businesses being very cost focused, but at the same time, how do you pass on to the consumers? India has more than 60 million MSMEs in this country. They are one of the largest employment creator after agriculture and also contribute lion's share to our GDP. But unfortunately, they are credit starved. Using AI, machine learning in the areas of customer service, customer experience, cyber frauds, data protection, early warning signals, because what they are looking for are mentors and not managers. So how do we push ourselves to become more of a mentor rather than managers? I wish I was 20 years younger because it's a fascinating time. A lot of incredible stuffs are happening. Have the tenacity of failing but getting back up and creating once more, as long as you're clear what your customers are looking for.
Hello and welcome to the HT Brand Leadership Series, a series of one-on-one interactions with top brand and marketing leaders who share their industry insights and strategies that have helped shape their stories. This series, hosted by Hindustan Times, offers a behind-the-scenes look at how leaders adapt their strategies for changing consumer behavior while leveraging media channels that improve customer relationships. Today we are joined by boss man Chandan Khaitan, consumer and brand by heart, also the CEO of Muthoot FinCorp ONE, a visionary leader with over 2 decades of experience in financial services, in e-commerce and consumer goods. Within 12 months, he transferred Muthoot FinCorp ONE into a fintech super app, integrating lending, saving, insurance and payments across Android, iOS and web interfaces. Previously, Chandan held leadership roles at Flipkart, Walmart, Reckitt and Nestlé, where he honed his expertise in scaling businesses and driving digital transformation. Welcome to the show, Chandan. So glad to have you.
My pleasure.
I would like to go back a few years behind and talk about your formative years as a student, or probably your transition from academics to professional life. Can you just walk us through that?
Those years take me back to my birthplace, which is Calcutta, and I've studied there. I would say, by God's grace, I was gifted with a bit of focus that I need to study and come up in life, because I belong to a very low middle class family. Study was the only means for me. But that certainly taught me how to be more on the hardworking side, and the luck and the time actually follows you, and that is what actually has taken me. And in last 20 or so years of my professional career, I have been focused towards trying and learn a lot, adapt, and then see how we can actually use it to value creation.
Understood. Your story has been of transitions, considering you started your career in FMCG and then moved to Walmart, Flipkart, and now you're leading Muthoot FinCorp ONE. How do you describe this journey?
I would say I was really fortunate to be part of an incredible 20 plus years of this journey, wherein I have seen fantastic businesses. I was part of some of them. I learned from incredible leaders, and this has certainly shaped me. I actually had fortunate of getting global perspectives as well with Walmart and with Nestlé. If I were to say this, I would break this into 3 parts. When I was in FMCG, being of course part of very excellent businesses, I got a chance to see our MSMEs in our country, which are retailers, distributors, CNFAs, very, very closely. And that made me learn a lot how supply chain work, how you actually create businesses from nothing actually. So that's one. When I actually moved into Walmart, being part of a retail business, it actually taught me how to be detail oriented. And how do you make cost effective businesses? And whatever money which is surplus left, how do you actually pass on to the consumer? In Walmart, we call this as EDLC to EDLP, which is everyday low cost to everyday low price, which has taught me how do you build businesses being very cost focused, but at the same time, how do you pass on to the consumers? And that is the learning which I took when I was part of Flipkart, and now I am building Muthoot FinCorp ONE. What we are obsessed about actually is that how do we take all of those grounded learning of how real businesses have been created, how do you look at consumers, and infuse a bit of technology, relevant technology, and then create value creation in the marketplace.
So if we look at the MSME cluster and your transition across these companies, what would be the key lessons, probably in your early experiences, that have shaped your leadership approach today? Because every consumer is different, is looked at very differently. So how have those lessons helped you today in formulating a strategy?
So I would stress upon two things. One, if you look at the MSME segment, so as we all know that India has more than 60 million MSMEs in this country. They are one of the largest employment creator after agriculture and also contribute lion's share to our GDP.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they are credit starved because of less on the formal documentation side or credit history side. So they are looking for something to be built with the reality where they are in. So, and I will talk about few of the products which we have created, keeping those realities in mind. My early years have actually taught me how do you go to the ground, understand the realities of this business and try and create products around it, and not that you create the product and wait for people to adapt to it. And the same thing applies for the consumers as well. In today's consumer, they are very evolved. They know what exactly is their need state. And there's a competition as well which is trying to serve this consumer. My viewpoint actually is that it is how we serve the consumer, try and build the business rather than the product alone will actually do that for you.
So that brings me to Muthoot FinCorp ONE. How does it align with your broader vision for the company? What key milestones have you achieved, and what exciting developments are on horizon? Because you mentioned that you're studying the consumer first and then building the product. So it's like a reverse strategy kind of.
So I'll break this whole thing into 2-3 parts. So one, Muthoot FinCorp ONE is part of Muthoot FinCorp Limited as an SBU, and it is broadly part of Muthoot Papachan Group. Muthoot Papachan Group has always had this vision of uplifting the common man and small businesses through financial inclusion. It's a very relevant thing to do if we were to look at making India as Viksit Bharat by 2047.
Just want to call on that.
So how we are actually in Muthoot FinCorp ONE are trying to align with that vision, which is incredible by itself, is that we are taking, because Muthoot business is about 137 years old legacy, it's a proven business model. With Muthoot FinCorp ONE, we are trying to infuse the right kind of technology with the proven business model and take it to the next level. So in essence, we are focusing on two areas. One, how do we create a phygital model where we allow our customers to interact with us, whether through our thousands of branches or on the platform with their choice and convenience. So that's one. Second, how do we become a platform of choice and a one-stop shop for our consumers when they are looking for anything to do with financial services, and we can give them the right kind of product. So these are the two areas which we are focusing on.
Right.
Now, if I were to talk about last 1.5 year journey, in last 1.5 years after the launch of the platform, we are already in the process of becoming a financial services super app with 4 categories on the platform, which is lending, savings and investment, insurance and payments. We already have more than 3.5 million users on the platform. About 75% of Muthoot FinCorp's customer who earlier used to transact on the through our branches are already interacting with us through the platform. So it shows that it is working for them. What we are focusing right now is that how do we actually become a financial services super app keeping consumer in mind, try and create what is relevant for them, and keeping that in mind, what we are trying to do now is to transform the platform into a marketplace. We are joining hands with all the credible players in BFSI segment and work with them to create right kind of product for our core customer segments.
Is it safe to say that we are kind of in a fintech revolution, because the kind of UPI offerings that we have, it's first of its kind, and I think Europe and America have not even come there, or they have just started this. So coming to the tech part of it, or rather the transformative fintech super app that spans a wide range of financial services from lending to insurance, what are some of the daily challenges that you encountered while developing such a comprehensive platform?
So again, I would say there are 2 or 3 things where what we focus on. One, as I keep on saying that we need to look at consumer first. We have a core customer segment, we need to serve them, but serving them is not easy, specifically using a platform. So my team does a lot of customer research, they do a lot of market benchmarking, they do a lot of customer discoveries, and we try and create product which is right for our core customer segment, and also it is user friendly for them to use it, right? So that's one area. Second, as you rightly said, that the current market scenario is very dynamic. So we are building a platform which can adapt to this dynamism. And my team spend a lot of time during the design and the architecture phase so that we can build a product which can adapt to the dynamic scenario. And third and the last one I would say where we focus a lot is because, as I said, we are super app and the marketplace in the making. That requires us to integrate with a lot of players and platforms in the market. So we have created this platform which is readily integratable with the players, right? So that we can actually play a ecosystem part and offer the right products to the consumers.
So I think the vision is pretty much there when it comes to uplifting the common man or the small businesses through financial inclusion. How you using technology, obviously because super app is there, how would you see the technology aspect coming in and solving problems for this community?
So as I said, whatever we do is centered around a vision of our group, which is uplifting the common man and small businesses through financial inclusion, and how we are doing it, infusing the right technology. Let me give you a quick example. So as I told you that India has about 60 million MSMEs, they contribute large part of our GDP, but they are credit starved as well.
Yes.
And why they are credit starved? Because many of them, millions of them, either don't have the formal credit history or the formal paper which would enable them to have the credit.
Correct.
Now this is the problem statement which we are aware,
Correct.
but we are poised to serve this customer segment. Now recently our leaders of the country, whether it is our finance minister or prime minister, has been talking about how do we work towards taking this particular segment to the next level through infusion of right kind of finance. And there's a word start coming in which is called digital footprint.
Yes.
That how do you use the digital footprint to create financial inclusion for them. And we were working on this for almost a year now. What we have done is, and you use the word UPI. So when I say digital footprint, one of the digital footprint, all of these MSMEs, like you go to any kiranas, have this QR code being there, right? And we use our UPI app to actually make the payment. We are utilizing that digital footprint.
Correct.
So that that allows us to understand what is the credit worthiness of this individual, and that has allowed us to create a product which is a complete digital product. In a very convenient manner, we are able to offer a right amount of credit to these MSMEs, and I am very happy to share that in last 9 months of our journey, we have been able to work with almost 85,000 such MSMEs, and we have given them their rightful financial requirement.
So in a way that they have also absorbed this solution and are seeing a lot of solutions working from them from a technology perspective. So it's saving them time, saving them bandwidth. Yeah. Understood. The financial sector is actually evolving very rapidly, and there's almost disruption happening on from a regulatory perspective also. So what challenges do you see right now in the current landscape, and would you see them as opportunities going along?
I rather not call this as a challenges. I would rather say both on the technology front and the regulation front, lot of brilliant stuff which is happening actually. These are game changers. If I talk about from a technology standpoint, whether you call it AI, including Gen AI or machine learning, it is now creating a lot of practical use cases which we can use in our businesses. From a regulation standpoint, regulator has been very forthcoming in coming up with stuff which is required to, one, make it easier for us as a regulated entity to operate with a lot of clarity, but at the same time, how do we actually take this whole thing of moving towards a Viksit Bharat thing, like for example, whether I call it digital lending guideline or ULI or CBDC, all of these are example of it. What we are doing as Muthoot FinCorp, I would say, is trying to work along with these changes, because these changes are out there. It is us as an industry player to adapt to it and serve our customer in the right manner. So I will give a couple of examples. From a technology standpoint, we are in the process of using AI, machine learning in the areas of customer service, customer experience, cyber frauds, data protection, early warning signals. So these are the areas we are working on. From a regulation standpoint, we are in the process of aligning with or integrating with the whole ULI line which is getting created now, and trying to see that how do we use that to create right kind of product for our consumers.
Understood. You called out phygital, which is more of a pro-COVID term. So when you're combining both digital innovation and physical branches, from your perspective, how does this model really address the financial needs of Indian consumers? And is it something that you want to compare, that it's either fully digital or traditional, or you're intentionally choosing phygital as a way to connect with the consumer?
So we are very, very clear that we have already made a choice that we want to be a phygital platform, and let me explain this. So our business has a legacy of about 137 years, right? And as you all know that we are deeply penetrated in this country. We serve various ethnicity, we are serving various diverse geographical areas of this country. So that is one part. The second part is, in a post-COVID scenario, people have understood that they are looking for choices. They are looking for ways to interact with you, what is more suitable for them. So it is important for us as a responsible business to look at how consumers are evolving and how we are making sure that we serve them at their convenience, at their choice. And that's the reason why we chose the phygital as a way to do it. And as the word suggests, it's a combination of physical and digital. Through physical, we have thousands of the branches with which we in any case serve our customer. What we have done is, whatever a consumer can do in our branches, we have replicated it true and true on our platform. So whenever it is not convenient for you to go to the branch, you can actually come to our platform and get exactly the same services in the exactly the same way. So and vice versa. So this is allowing us to offer the same kind of business model, same kind of products and offering in the way consumers are convenient to get along with us. So that's possibly this is basically the reason why.
And it's also working. There is
we are able to serve customer holistically actually.
And what kind of feedback do you get from your consumers when they are using, either coming into your branches or using the app? Is there any feedback that you all collect, things to improve upon, or there's something that they would like to tweak? What kind of feedback do you get?
So let me say with complete humbleness that have we already arrived? The answer is absolutely no. It's just been a sub 2 years journey, and it is gonna be a continuous journey of evolution. Are we making a lot of mistakes? The answer is yes. Okay. But at the same time, I would say that consumers are loving us. Our app rating is upwards of 4.3. People are finding it good that a traditional, a very proven brand like Muthoot, which has been serving Indians for more than 100 years, is looking at their convenience. How you can actually, if it is not fine for you to actually travel to the branch, sitting at home if you can take care of your finances. So that is being loved. At the same time, we have thousands of our associates working in the branches who are eager to serve our customers, and more productivity will allow them to serve customers better. So the platform also is creating a lot of productivity at the branches as well, right? To serve the customer rightfully so. So it is actually happening on both the sides.
So if one has to ask you, how do you construct your customer? Like example, somebody in the other financial streams, say a banker or an insurance who also serves this MSME community, they have a different way of constructing your customer. How do you construct your customer? And do you put geotags, or do you talk about a certain income that you assign to them? How do you construct a customer?
See, I would rather say this, that our customers are quite heterogeneous. Exactly. Okay, and we chose that in that particular manner. We certainly say that our core customer segment is a common man and a small business, but the common man and small businesses come from different parts of the country. Okay, their habits are very, very different. Their need states are very, very different. So, can you create possibly one brush and paint it the same way? You cannot, right? You need to look at the heterogeneity of the customers and solve for it. And that is what Muthoot as a business been doing for decades actually, right? What was important when we were building the platform is that how do we replicate the same thing on the platform? And I would say that we are somewhat successful. Time needs to be there to prove whether we are 100% there or not. But what we have actually realized is, and this is the reason why we took the call of becoming a financial services super app and now marketplace in the making, because consumer is not just looking for gold loan. They are also looking for right kind of insurance. They are also looking for some kind of financial services products, like say suppose they want to invest something. They are looking for two-wheeler loans, right? So how do you make a kind of a place where one, you can interact at your convenience, but more importantly, you trust Muthoot's name, and what we are trying to offer you is well curated, keeping you in mind. So how do we make this as a win-win scenario is what we are looking at.
Understood. I'll go back to AI. Clearly, it's transforming various industries across the board, including financial services. How is Muthoot FinCorp embracing AI? Is there any way to enhance the customer experience, or is it streamlining or driving innovation in a way?
AI, including Gen AI, is the most talked about subject in recent times, and the good news is that now practical use cases are coming up which can be used in various kind of businesses, and same is true for financial services. Couple of areas where we are experimenting with AI is one, on giving customer a better experience when they are coming on to the platform. Correct. So the way we are trying to do is when you come to our platform, because it's a super app, it has more than 16 products, soon it will have more than 20 products. Looking at your past history, the way you have been interacting with us, how do we handhold you on the platform and navigate you what is the product you can actually use? So we are using AI there. The second use case we are using AI is to listen to the customer, what they are saying, because customer interact with us through text, which is like email or feedback. They also interact with us over the call. We are using AI to convert those voices into text, mix all of these together and try and create a cohort of area where customers are looking for better services, right, and convert them into actionable area with no time actually. So these are the two areas where we are experimenting with.
Awesome. I'll move to actually talking to the customer now, wherein how do you really drive your messaging to them? That's where the regional advertising play comes. How do you ensure your marketing resonates with diverse linguistic and cultural audiences? I know you've been in the country for over 100 years, but still you still need to keep reminding them that you're there and you're ready to serve them.
So as I said earlier as well, that we are very deeply penetrated. We are fortunate to be deeply penetrated in our lovely country. We serve various geographies, various ethnicity. But if you were to serve all of them, keeping English as a medium of communication, I think you may not do the justice of what Muthoot stands for. So you would actually see that in various kinds of communication mode which we choose to interact with our customer, whether it is advertisement, hoardings, WhatsApp, SMSs, even product notification, all of this we are trying to do as much as possible into Vernac. Right. We are creating lots and lots of video content in Vernac, right? In fact, so much so that we are now converting our Muthoot FinCorp ONE app in a Vernac app. So very soon you will see that it is going to have 2 languages, then to 6 languages, to most of the languages of a country on the platform. And the purpose is very simple, that we are here to serve you. Let's make sure that our consumer understands what they are trying to do in their language.
So what is your discussion with your marketing team? What's your ideal discussion, or what is the ideal KPI you align or assign to them?
I certainly look for coming across the customer and talk to them in their language the way they are comfortable. Marketing has now geared up to doing that, but the speed at which we can create a quality content and convert that into a vernac content is basically a bit of time taking.
Right.
How do we use technology actually to reduce that particular time? So we are working on AI at that side also, that how do we do it at God speed, so that we can go to the consumer and tell them that, sir, this is what is available for you, and they understand and start utilizing. What is the fun in having a product available, but you are not able to communicate and consumers are not able to understand it?
Understood. The financial industry has traditionally faced challenges when it came to customer service. What is your strategy at Muthoot FinCorp? How are you implementing a better customer experience, and how are you building loyalty? Because obviously you've been in the country so long, there has been a secret sauce that you have, and how do you foster long-term partnerships or long-term relationships in the industry?
So I'm really proud to say this, that Muthoot as a group has always been working towards how do we make our customer more satisfied. In fact, if you walk into any of our branches, and I have been to many, you will see the lightness of the conversation between our branch folks and our customers. They know each other, they have been dealing with each other, so we make them comfortable. It is not about pushing just the product. How do we actually work along with them? But we need to keep on working towards it, because the customers are evolving, the need states are evolving. So we are working on 2-3 areas. Again, we are trying to use technology as much as possible, along with our incredible force which is there in the branches. So one, as I said, there is a reason why we came up with the phygital platform, so that people can actually interact with the way they actually want. We are working on, as I said, the whole AI engine which can listen to the customer, both the text and the voice converted into text, and we understand what is troubling our customers, so that in a faster pace we are able to serve them better. We are also looking for creating an NLP based chatbot where customer can come up, they can use their regional language mixed with English, Hindi, whatsoever, and they can get their queries solved in a real time. And if it is not being solved, how does it get transferred to a human being so that they can actually talk to the individual and serve them?
Understood. As someone with extensive leadership experience, how do you foster a culture of innovation and growth at Muthoot FinCorp? What qualities do you look in talent, and how do you nurture future leaders in the company?
So I'll break this into 3 parts. One is, how do we like to foster innovation and growth? So I think we are in a very incredible time right now, where we are surrounded by extremely good talent, and I have always learned, and my leaders have actually taught me, that the best way to drive innovation and growth is show them the bigger picture, give them all the tools and resources, and just be around for any need based discussion or problem solving, but then leave them, right? And they are possibly the brightest mind, and they will drive the thing. You just need to be there to make them go in the right kind of direction. So that's one.
Right.
Second, I would say, from a talent standpoint, I would look more of intent than skill. Intent to take up challenges, intent to learn,
Exactly.
intent to possibly fail, but get up and do it once more.
Right.
So it's more of an intent thing.
That's very important.
Finally, on fostering future leaders, I would say we as today's leader need to start giving space to our forthcoming leaders, and they will find their path. Because what they are looking for are mentors and not managers. So how do we push ourselves to become more of a mentor rather than managers?
So Steve Jobs had this famous quote, right? We hire smart people and they tell us how to work. We don't tell them how to work.
Exactly.
So who are the leaders that you look up to, whether in your industry or outside?
So on the business side, I would say I really look up to our Swargiya Ratan Tata ji for 2 things. One, I have never seen more humble man than him, very, very close to the ground. And plus, whatever he tried to do, he kept society at first. So second person I look up to is Jeff Bezos, because of his customer centricity.
Right, yeah.
Outside the business, Rafael Nadal,
Okay.
because I'm a tennis fan, and Rafael Nadal is, for 2 reasons. Rafael Nadal being very tenacious, and his attitude of never giving up.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's why the games between the three are quite memorable.
Yeah.
So if I have to look at your day, how do you describe your day outside work, or how do you manage your day?
One, spending as much as possible time with family. I have two lovely kids. Couple of hours of tennis.
Okay.
And reading few pages of maybe emerging technologies or how successful businesses have been made in past. Yeah.
You mentioned your kids. Do you talk money with them? Because my next question to you is going to be on financial literacy. There was a statement made earlier that there should be a school, in schools the syllabus or the curriculum should have something on financial literacy. Do you agree with that?
Should be, but keeping the natural maturity curve as well.
Understood.
If we try and tell them microeconomics at the age of 5 may not be relevant.
Of course.
But if we start showing them value of money and how it is being derived, that is essential. And of our kids, I would say they are much more smarter than us. So more than teaching them, it's more of a time of reverse mentoring wherein they can teach us a lot.
So what initiatives you're taking at Muthoot FinCorp on educating and empowering customers when it comes to managing the finances effectively?
See, this is a very, very important topic. And thanks to evolving technology and connectivity, there are a lot of stuff which is happening in the market, both right and wrong. We all are aware of so many frauds which are happening, cyber-led frauds which are happening. People need to understand importance of data confidentiality, their personal informations. We are trying to use as much as possible of our front end with the customer, whether it is our branches or our platform or the website, through various communication. We are showing them or telling them what is right, what is wrong. But it's a journey which needs much more time. And we are making sure that we put a lot of our effort towards it. It is not just about selling one another product to the consumer. It is about the well-being of the consumer. And we as a financial services player need to understand the importance of it and continuously going in that path.
The other aspect I want to touch upon is data security or financial security. When I say that, I mean a lot of your customers may be of elderly age group as well, and they may not be that savvy when it comes to tech, and unfortunately they are always the victims when it comes to financial frauds. So how are you addressing that? Is there any initiative that you have where you try and explain them on how to use the app correctly or how to manage OTPs?
To be honest with you, we are trying to do as much as I said, using all our front face to the customer, but we are also evolving in it. Like for example, we are trying to create right kind of content, right kind of videos, having the right kind of characters in those videos so that people can relate to it, creating this in vernacular languages. So that's an endeavor which we have already taken, and we are actually going in that path.
Very interesting. I had a similar kind of a conversation with the AU Bank, AU Small Finance Bank, because they might be getting the license from the RBI. So they were talking about this whole personalization and obviously giving loans to this disorganized community and how they manage to evaluate them. Because they don't have documents, they don't have credit history, but what are the ways and means in which they study the vendor and ensure that this person qualifies for a loan. So it's very, very similar. Are you also looking to get something going with the RBI and probably launch a bank?
I think we have been serving this country for, as I said, more than 100 years. And the good part is consumers love us, our customer love us. And we would continue to see how in a more meaningful manner we are able to serve them.
I want to ask one last question, a wrap-up question for our audiences who are trying to pick up insights from you. Any advice for youngsters who are starting off their career in fintech or who are looking to address the MSME community? What would you tell them now, today?
One, I am congratulating them. I wish I was 20 years younger because it's a fascinating time. A lot of incredible stuffs are happening. I would sincerely say that focus on two things. One, try and spend as much as possible time with your target consumers. Because it is not about you creating and they adapting to it. Rather, you create what they're looking for. So that's one. Second, try and experiment. Fail. Failing is not a bad thing actually, right? A successful product possibly need 9 or 10 failures. So have the tenacity of failing but getting back up and creating once more, as long as you're clear what your customers are looking for and you go back to them and take the feedback.
I love the fact that you said that spend more time with the customer. I also believe that you should try and understand their pain points. In fact, the Uber CEO actually became a driver and took his customers around, and it happened in India as well. Do you plan to do something like that, or you may have already done it, where you may have gone on ground and spoken to any of your customers to understand anything from them?
So this is one part of my job which I love for many years now. So when I was in FMCG, I used to spend a lot of time with retailers, CNFAs, distributors, like to learn how they actually create the business and how they make business meaningful. In Walmart, I used to spend a lot of time with my retailer because we had a B2B platform. It is so much so that when I had launched my platform, I had actually called more than 100 such retailers to test right in front of me that what is this platform, whether it is serving them or not. Similarly, here also we actually interact with customers in a continuous manner, whether inside our Muthoot branch or outside, and try and learn a lot from them and try and see how we can actually make our product more meaningful.
Anything that came up when in your interactions? Anything that you would like to share with us?
I can give you one anecdote of when I was building a B2B e-commerce platform for retailers, and we had created a beautiful platform which has merchandise, it has picture, it has description of the product and all. And I went to a retailer and showed him, and I was hoping to have a brilliant feedback, said, "Oh sir, it looks very beautiful, this, that and all." But he said, in a very, I would say, humble manner, he said, "Sir, दिखता अच्छा है, but अंग्रेजी में लिखा हुआ है." And that gave me an insight that it is not the merchandise description which is important, because he's a retailer, he knows his product really well. That pushed us to increase the size of the picture of the product than the merchandise. And when he saw the picture more clearly, he knew that what product he needs to order. He need not read the description actually.
Understood.
Yeah. So that's the kind of insight we are talking about.
Awesome, awesome. Chandan Khaitan, it was a lovely discussion. We learned so much from your insights and your experiences. It was a pleasure having you.
My pleasure, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.